G'day guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're on Super Brew tipping to do my tips this week. I'm still doing ESPN. I just thought I'd change it up for a bit and go with Super Brew. It's a good tipping website also. So yeah, like we always start off with, there's been a few upsets this round, so we'll get into the reviews for Friday the 4th of August. We had the Dogs taking on the Tigers. I went with the Dogs by 10. They actually got it done by, I think, 55. So, yeah, it was really that first quarter, which was poor from Richmond under the roof of Marvel. You know, they don't play their best footy there. They just conceded too many goals in the first quarter, and Rich really gave the Bulldogs just a free exit there from pretty much. It gave them momentum, and, yeah, most people tipped the Dogs. You can see the predictions and, what people tip on, what's it called, ESPN footy tips, but why I like this as well, because you get extra points for the scoreline as well, and there's just a few more stats I like about Super Brew. So I will switch it up every now and then, but I'm just going to stick with Super Brew maybe for a couple of rounds, but I'll see how it goes. And then I went with the Bombers by 41. The Eagles played very good, and they probably deserved to win that game. You know, it's sort of like the Saints game where the Eagles actually played pretty competitive against a pretty average side, just like our Saints. But yeah, it was only 1 point. But yeah, it really hurts because Langford, when he kicked that goal, I actually thought they might actually pinch it here, the Eagles. When Oscar Allen kicked that goal, I think a minute 40. I think if they hold on, they could win it, but obviously they want Harley Reid, so the Bombers got it done by a very unconvincing point. The thing is, though, I'd almost say the Essendon win is probably a bit worse, just basically because, yes, we were 31 points. Now, we managed to come back. Yes, it wasn't against the Eagles, but the Eagles were playing at home when we played them, and this one was a bit more high-scoring. So I would almost say this is worse than the Saints one than we played the Eagles. But, yeah, 1 point for that game. Then I went with the Crows by 5. I thought the Suns could keep up, and that first quarter, sort of like the Dogs game, just really gave the Crows the momentum. You couldn't see the Suns coming back, but really in that second and third quarter, they're actually pretty decent. They came back a bit in the contest and started to put on a few scores, and they, Crows still won by 28, but I thought it would be a bit closer, but Adelaide just, it looks like they're going to put on some heavy scoreboard. They still did, but it was more of a bit of a disappointing second half for the Crows, but yeah, I went the Crows by 5. The Suns won by 28. The Crows won by 28, so yeah. And then one of the upsets of the year, this is probably the third or maybe second biggest upset of the year. I went the Pies by 51, and what was even more of this of being an upset, I think it grew out to 44 points at the MCG. The Hawks actually won by 32. That's what made this a really big upset. And, I thought the Pies should get an easy win here, but Collingwood really looking out of form, and now with Nick Dacos injured, it could leave him stranded for the Brownlow. Obviously, he can still win it, but it's very unlikely now with him being injured, so it's not good scenes for Collingwood. They have Geelong this week, so they better watch out. But yeah, the Hawks just pick up a nice late season win, and one of the upsets of the year. I definitely was not expecting that one there. And then the Cats at GMHBA, risky tip just because they lost to the Dockers there, but you'd think the Cats need to win this, otherwise they were gone, and so they did. And yes, they probably, I wouldn't say they were exactly gifted it, but there were a few calls that I thought were questionable that were going the way of the Cats. The umpires usually favour the Cats, and yes, I think it's fair to say, if you're not a Geelong fan, you probably can call that game gifted to Geelong, but yeah, I don't think it was completely gifted, to be honest, in the end, as Scoots would say. He thinks it's a gifted game. I probably agree in some areas of it, but I do think the Cats were probably just the better side for most of it. And yeah, good first quarter from the Cats. And Port really stuck around, but that's 4 losses in a row. They don't have the best record at GMHBA. That's where I went with the Cats, and yeah, got it done by 12. And a bit of an unconvincing win, but still got it done by 12. Then the Giants, I thought that continued the streak in the derby, the bridge battle between the Swans and the Giants. Being at Giants Stadium, I thought that the Giants were actually a chance, but no, Sydney come to end the streak and they won by 11, so didn't get anything there for the scoreline or prediction. And here I went with Melbourne by 50, and North Melbourne with Alistair Clarkson back in his first game, being at Blundstone. You know, I thought this game would only be 50, just based off earlier on in the season. It was 90 points. I thought, yeah, look, I think this should be a cruisy win for Melbourne, but no. We completely underrated North Melbourne. In that first half, they were really strong. They looked like Melbourne just were getting beaten everywhere, and they really looked pretty good. I think they scored 56 points in the first half. I think that's their highest first half scoring they've ever had. Then it just came down to a very poor second quarter and third quarter where, you know, they only scored, I think, 15 points in the second half. Yeah, it was just poor from North Melbourne in the end. Could sort of see, you know, even though the D's were as much as 33 points down, you probably still expect them to come back. And in that second quarter, they were really piling on the goals. And yeah, Melbourne only won by 32, but decent effort from North Melbourne. Fortunately, my Saints couldn't get it done. I just think that Carlton, being a really hot team, could just continue the streak. To be fair, though, yes, they had way more scoring shots than us, but we did. I'd probably say we were the better side for the first half of the game. We were just dominating them in that first half, not completely dominating. We had 22-point lead. I actually thought we do play pretty good against Carlton. We could end the streak, and I was actually positive at halftime for us to continue that, but a 10-point second half was really just let us down, and we looked like we were at least going to score somewhat around 90 points, but we end up only scoring 54, choked it. I'm not that disappointed with the result. I thought our boys played a bit better yesterday, but of course it is disappointing. We just need to pick up the win against Richmond. If we don't pick up the win there, well, we're in a bit of strife, so yeah, Carlton got it done. Disappointing. Brisbane, I went with by 29 at Optus Stadium, only won by 3. Freo played pretty good and caught up with them. But with that being said, let's get to the tips. All right, tips now. So Collingwood and Geelong at the MCG should be a pretty good one now. Collingwood, 2 losses in a row since like the first time for a year and a half. The Cats got a sort of a gifted game, you could say, on the weekend against the Power at home, but I think Collingwood just get the win here. If they lose this, yes, I don't really need to win these games now because they are pretty much locked in top 4. They're pretty much almost locked in first spot. But I'll go the Pies here to get a win. I will go with the Pies by 9, but I actually think it's going to be close. I feel like the Cats, yeah, if they lose this one, this might hurt the Cats and this might just end their season. Obviously, they can still make it, but I'll go with the Pies by 9. However, I'm not confident. I could see a little Cats upset there. But, yeah, the way they played against Hawthorn was disappointing. Yeah, with Dacos out, it's going to be a bit of a challenge too. So this does open the door for Geelong, but they do have some injuries as well themselves. So, yeah, with Hawkins and Blitzards out, I think, yeah, I'll go with the Pies by 9. Then Essendon and North Melbourne at Marvel Stadium here. Now, I'm actually... Essendon just got the win against... the Eagles at Marvel Stadium on the weekend, and North Melbourne played a pretty good first half, I thought, down at Blundstone against the D's, and yeah, well, they just had a disappointing second half, didn't they? I'm actually going to go with a bit of an upset here. I feel like, yeah, I don't know why I'm tipping North. I just feel like this is just going to be one of their days where they come out and get a win by 5 points. Last time these sides versed, it was very close earlier in the season. It was only 6 points. And, you know, like my Saints, we played in a close one against North. I actually think that the Bombers might... I actually think the North might pinch them here. I'm going a bit of an upset, and this definitely to put a line through Essendon's season here. A little bit of an upset win for North. I'm not confident, but just the competitiveness from North and the way the Bombers played against the Eagles, I'm actually going to go with North Melbourne to get a win here by 5 points in a pretty good cracker. Then at the SCG, we have the Swans taking on the Suns here. I think with the form that the Swans has been very good. Gold Coast, however, on the other side, got that win against Brisbane a couple of weeks ago. Had that disappointing loss this week, obviously. So yeah, I'm probably gonna go with the Swans just because this is at the SCG, and I think the Swans continue their streak to. I think they've got a little streak of 4 So I got off the Swans here to get a win. I think it might be a pretty easy one for the Swans. Not an easy one. I go the Swans by 21 points. This one should be, I think the Suns can keep up for a quarter or two, but the Swans just too strong at home. Then the Lions at the Crows at the Gabba. You'd probably be the safe tip to tip Lions, and if the Crows lose this, well, they do have Eagles at the end of the season, which, as a Saints fan, we should be worried because the Crows can possibly get a percentage booster there. We know last time the Eagles and the Crows versus, it was it was it was a thrashing. So, but I think I'll go with the Lions here at the Gabba. They should just be too strong. And I think the Crows will actually stick around. I'll go with the Lions only by 11 points. I think the Crows will be sticking around, and I think Rankin might be back. Probably not. I don't know when he's back. But, I'll go with Brisbane by 11. Then Saturday night, the MCG, Carlton taking on the D's. Should be a pretty good one. Carlton in some great form against my Saints. Just had a really good second half, but they did look a bit poor in that first half. I'm not gonna lie, Carlton. Same with Melbourne. They almost look like the premiership favourites now, Melbourne. Even though they weren't too convincing against North Melbourne. I feel like it's sort of now Carlton's time to lose. They have 7 wins on the trot, and credit to them. I mean, I'm pretty sure they have 7 on the trot now, Carlton. They might even have 8. But I'm actually going to go with the D's here. I think they might get it done here. I just feel like Carlton's streak might come to an end here. MCG, if the D's win this, I'll go with the D's in a close one by 13. But I do think Carlton's streak does come to an end. And the D's, pull off a win almost to be looking closer and closer to overtaking Collingwood and winning the premiership. Now we have the Derby at Optus Stadium on the last Saturday night game. The Eagles versus the Dockers. Now, I actually think this one is going to be pretty closer than people think. The way that the Eagles played against the Dons, certainly they don't want to win because they want to get Harley Reid. It's likely that he's going to them. But, the Eagles play very competitive, and Freo just not able to sneak over the line against Brisbane. I thought both sides played pretty well here. I'm going to go with the Dockers only by 10 points. I think because Eagles do play, Eagles always play competitive, and, if they're not competitive, they usually get the win. Last time it was 41 points. That's only because, the Eagles went out with 3 injuries. It would have been much closer, really. It probably would have only been 20 points. Played pretty good there against my Saints. Played respectable against North Melbourne. They got the win. So I'm only going to go the Dockers by 10. I think they'll probably be the better side, actually, in this game. But Freo, probably just more the safer tip. You would still tip them. And, Freo funded their 9th win of the season. Then Sunday Arvo, we've got the Dogs and the Hawks taking each other on at Utah's Stadium. This game should be, fairly decent here. But I will go with the Doggies. We'll probably tip them. Look, I think they might actually get a pretty comfortable win here. Actually, you know what? Because the Hawks played so good against the Pies, I actually forgot about that. We'll still go with the Doggies, I think. We'll go with the Dogs only by 14. I think at Utah's, the Hawks are certainly going to challenge the Dogs, but we'll go with them by 14. Then my Saints taking on the Richmond Tigers at Marvel Stadium. Now, we all know how bad Richmond play at Marvel Stadium. It's not a very good ground for them. They don't have the best history. And, Andrew Walter just blames it on Dimmer, but for that record, I'm actually feeling confident in this game. I know we had a loss to Carlton. We played really poor in the second half, but I'm actually feeling confident in this one. I feel like we'll get a bit more, some scores, and when we score above 80 points, we are 8-0. So I'm actually going to be a little bit biased, maybe. Look, I think Richmond will probably win, but I'll actually go with my Saints to get the win. Look, it shouldn't be any easy thing, but you know what? It's under Marvel. Richmond got thrashed there last week. They'll probably be out firing here, but I'm actually going to go the Saints by 19. I hope we get the win. If we get this, I think we should make finals, but we do have the Crows to worry about, and that, so at least need to win 2 to definitely lock it in. But I'll go the Saints in a must-need win game. We must win this one, and I'm going to keep our season alive and make us win by 19. Then at the Adelaide Oval to finish off the round, we have the Power taking on the Giants. Look, this one should be a good one. Oh, I don't know who I'm going to tip here, but I reckon the Power just, when the team has 13 wins in a row, yes, they do slump a bit, but just losing 5 in a row after winning 13 seems a bit unrealistic. But they do have lots of injuries. The Power, they're missing some of their best players, their key players. The Giants, on the other hand, well, they just fell too short against the Swans. They probably should have won that game with the amount of scoring shots, but fortunately the Battle of the Bridge just didn't go their way, and I'm actually going to go the Power here. I think they actually might get a pretty good win, but I actually do think that the Giants played. They bet the Crows up there, so I got Port only to win in a close one by 7. But look, I think Port probably should get a win here, and they'll really want to get a win here. Otherwise, Carlton could possibly overtake them. Yeah, I'll go with the Power to get the win by 7. Anyways, that's going to wrap up this video. We're on Super Brew tipping again. It's a good tipping website. If some of you are looking for a new tipping website and you do watch my videos, go ahead to Super Brew. All you need to do is just enter your email, sign up, then you can join anyone's comp. I'm currently in one of my friends' comp. That's why I'm on Super Brew, and I think I might stick with this for I'll see how it goes, and yeah. Let me know in the comments if you do want me to do more videos on Super Brew. Anyways, we'll see you guys in the next ones.